You silly boy.
Yeah.
All right, first of our guests is coming up this morning. We definitely want to welcome this brother to KAZI 88.7 FM. Dab Dub.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mickey Factz. Mickey Factz is a veteran MC from the Bronx with over 15 years in the hip-hop industry. He's collaborated with artists like Drake, Kanye West, and Lupe Fiasco. Beyond his music career, Mickey is the founder, CEO, and Dean of Students at Pendulum Inc. Academy.
Yes,
This
sir.
is the first school dedicated to lyricism and hip-hop education.
Okay.
Through Pendulum Inc., he aims to uplift and mentor MCs, fostering a community that emphasizes writing, delivery, mental health, and business acumen. Mickey, thanks for joining us today. What's up?
Good morning, guys. How y'all feeling?
We good, man. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you for asking.
Yes, sir. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the. First of all, I think you've got such an incredible lineup of stuff that you've done in terms of getting into the game. How many years have you been in the game, and what was the struggle like?
Man, I officially got into the game around 2007. So, we're talking about 18 years. I know my guy 15 years, but really it's 18 years. 18 years in the music industry. And I just you get your ups, you get your downs, you sell your records, you do your record deals, you do commercials, you be in movies, all of these different things. You keep trying to pivot and figure out what works for you. Once, some of the minutes in your 15 minutes of fame start to expire. You try to figure out how to continue to, navigate in the space. And I think, I don't even want to just say it's ageism. I just think that Jordan can't play basketball for 30 years, Bill Gates is not going to just constantly be making programs for computers. Right. Now he's doing other things. And I think that's something that us as entrepreneurs and us as creatives have to continue to keep in our mind. How do we continuously be innovative to move culture forward in whatever capacity that may be?
Word. Okay. Hey, what's up, man? This is Simply Courtney, one of the guys here in the studio. Hey, so you said 18 years, right?
Yes.
What keeps you excited when it comes to either performing, producing, or just about music in general?
I think it's the unknown, not knowing if people will like what you potentially like. Also, just seeing people's reactions, allowing people to digest it and see if it impacts their lives in different ways. It's funny that you asked this, right? When you think about, Martin, let's just use Martin for an example. In 1995, I was 12 years old, maybe 13 years old. And a lot of the language that Martin was using, we were using in New York City. Now, Martin, that show was based in Detroit. And Martin, I don't believe is from Detroit. I think he's from another city.
Baltimore.
Yeah, it was in Baltimore.
He's from Baltimore, right? So you taking a guy from Baltimore where their accent is you take him into Detroit where they have their own language, but that language and his experiences are the exact same experiences that I've experienced and a lot of other Black people felt like they have went through. And I believe that music does the exact same thing. If I am expressive in terms of what I may have went through, depression-wise, love-wise, financial issues, and people go through the exact same things. And I feel that once you can connect with people and they can take this music, dwell on it, and hopefully change, now you're seeing actual beauty in what it is that you create when it comes to art.
Love it, man.
Thank you, brother.
If you're joining late, we have Mickey Factz, veteran MC from the Bronx, also CEO, Dean of Students at Pendulum Inc. Academy. I want to talk a little bit about Pendulum Inc. and education. What inspired you to create Pendulum Inc. And what gap do you feel it filled in the hip hop or education world?
I just want to say rest in peace to DMX, rest in peace to Shock G,
Yes, sir.
and rest in peace to Black Rob. those 3 deaths back to back post pandemic really shook me up, mainly because these are guys who are staples in our community when it comes to song, art, and visuals, and to see that their affairs were not in order and out for the public to consume really scared me, because I'm not somebody who has the luxury of having hit records and things of that nature. I do well for myself. I haven't had a job in 17, 18 years, but at any given point that can be taken away from me. So I said to myself, what is the pivot? What do you do? And I said, maybe I should teach. Maybe I should teach hip hop. And I tried to get jobs in different universities and colleges, and I was turned down. And at that moment, I said, well, you know what? If they're going to tell somebody such as myself no, who's extremely accomplished and has tons of accolades, and I have the respect of my peers, then maybe I should create my own school to not only teach the youth of what's going on, but also re-educate the artists that are doing what they're doing while still maintaining a space for the older artists to find, potential, post-career jobs in teaching this all across the country. And I think it's best to come from the practitioners as opposed to people who create theoretical dissertations and syllabi framed around what they have heard and not actually experienced and done in their careers.
Yeah. Hey, Mickey Factz, that's exactly what I kind of thought. But I'm also kind of curious when it comes to you and Pendulum Inc. And for those who don't know, it's the Pendulum Inc. Academy is what he has. As the dean of students, what kind of transformation do you see in artists who go through your program?
Man, I just want to say rest in peace to Katie. Katie D'Angelo, aka K-Rap. She was a student of mine.
Oh,
she joined in 2023, and she was not a rapper. She was from Boston, Massachusetts. She was an older woman, and she joined our program, and she went to every single class. She was not a rapper, and I taught her for a full year. Helped her rhyme on beat, improved her cadences, improved her writing. And, she sadly went into a coma March 17th and passed away on Sunday. But on the 21st of April, one of her songs will be playing on All American on the CW next week. Congrats. And to me, I believe that is the transformation. Seeing someone not being able to do anything with music and achieving something that a lot of artists strive for constantly and consistently, she was able to do that in a very short amount of time. People go years without having any sort of success in the music industry, and we were able to accomplish that with her in a year and a half.
Kudos, man. That's big props, dude, for you to do that. That is not a small feat at all,
no
dude.
doubt.
Wow.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
As people try to understand Pendulum Inc. Academy, can you walk us through what a student at Pendulum Inc. experiences from enrollment to completion?
Absolutely. So when you sign up, you fill out an application. I need to know your phone number. I need to know your email address. I need to know your rap name, how long you've been doing this, and you need to submit me some lyrics or some music. And then from there, I can place you in your class, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, senior, or junior. And then after that, you are entered into our exclusive community. You come into our community where there's nothing but artists in there, and you get a chance to be around other like-minded MCs. And then from there, it's an online school. So there's classes happening every single day, Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. You're learning the business of music. You're learning how to write. You're learning how to rhyme on beat. We have a mental health specialist on staff. So you get therapy once a month. And then we bring in a legendary guest MC every single month. Wow. So you get a chance to interact with MCs that you potentially may have never spoken to or met. So this year so far, we've had Elzai from Detroit. We've had Tretch from Naughty by Nature. And we had Exhibit last month. This month we have R.A. the Rugged Man pulling up next week. And then we the next 3 months, it's looking like we have Benny the Butcher, Jadakiss, and Slick Rick.
Nice.
No, you can't get too much better than that.
No, man.
You can't get too much
You
better
just
than
rattling off names. I'm like, wow.
Cats rolling through.
Oh, my God. I got a question for you, Mickey. How have you seen the game changed now because, of course, you've got a whole new slew of folks. And I think that at some point there's a difference, like Doechii. Doechii is the hot female right now, right? But her lyrics to me is old school. I'm an old school cat, right? I grew up with, Slick Rick and Run DMC and all of those guys. And so, and I still love hip hop. But I think at some point, maybe it's gotten to a point where everybody tries to jump on that same line of lyricism, but then, somebody to me like Doechii comes along, somebody like Kendrick comes along, who takes the lyricism to me a little bit more serious.
So I think that, we have to uphold artists like Doechii and Kendrick because, they're speaking to the Black diaspora, right? I don't agree with a lot of what Kanye has been doing in the recent weeks or months. I feel like his approach is off. But there is truth to him saying how the powers that be are exploiting Black trauma for capital. And whether it's, promoting, financial illiteracy, whether it's promoting high-level misogyny, whether it's promoting high-level drug use, it just seems like that's the focus and the focal point on Black music and trauma. And it didn't used to be like that. Somebody posted something not too long ago about they asked artists in 1997.
I was just about to read that. It was on Instagram earlier.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to read it before I got into the studio. Okay.
Yeah. So they asked the artists, what would you change in hip hop in 1997? And they all said, violence. Why are we rapping about violence? Why are we rapping about drugs? Why are we and all of them, like I would say 80 to 90% of them, and it was, our legends.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were all saying this. And here we are 28 years later.
Still at
it's devolved.
Yep.
It's gotten even worse.
Yep.
And I feel like, there is a disconnect somewhere. And I'm hoping, and listen, I'm a firm religious believer. I believe right now Pendulum Inc. has to kind of be the change in hip hop where we encourage content, we encourage emotional expression, we encourage creativity to be able to express ourselves in positive ways, and we're going to try to implement it into the creatives in the schools, because right now these guys are the children of Israel. What's happening right now, we in the wilderness. They got to die off so we can get the youth to change what is being expressed. And the only way to do that is if they're consistently involved in the arts with someone who is responsible and infiltrating the school systems with actual curriculum and syllabi to teach them the proper way to do it. And listen, we've been teenagers, debauchery is a part of that, but to constantly have that every which way you turn is sad, right? And he only named 2 artists, right? There's probably an extra handful of guys, but the majority is just ridiculous. And I feel like the only way to change that is actual action. And that's what I'm trying to do with Pendulum Inc. as well.
Mickey Factz, everyone, if you tuned in late, Mickey, how do you balance artistry and structure in a school that teaches about freeform art like rap?
So structure is foundational, right? I liken it the same way as teaching someone jazz or teaching someone, opera or how to sing. Yeah. We're not telling you how to sing like Mariah Carey. We're showing you the devices that Mariah Carey, and I'm speaking as if I was a singing coach, I'm speaking on how they were able to do these techniques. So how come they can do that with singing and opera and playing instruments where you have to actually read sheet music, and people go to art school to learn art, how to actually draw, how to paint beautiful canvases, and you learn all of these different techniques. But rap, you can't teach someone how to rap. Every artist that we've ever had come to Pendulum Inc., every celebrity has said to us, we wish we had this 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And they always also say to us that this is necessary and needed to continue this to go forward, right? We're not teaching, when the artists come to Pendulum Inc., they're not walking out sounding like Mickey Factz. All we're doing is unlocking the key to what your style is and adding extra techniques to what you do. And we're very adamant on allowing you to be great lyrically, but we want you to also be as simple as possible to gravitate to a wider audience. Batman is not going to use every weapon in his utility belt to beat up a random thug.
Nah.
That's just not something he's going to do.
Yeah.
And you don't need to do that every time you get on a song. You don't need to be lyrical. We don't teach that. And I think that's a misconception as well with us. We teach artists to let the music speak to them. We teach artists to let the content be the driving force. Everybody is not going to be Iceberg Slim. Everybody's not going to be Warren Buffett. Everybody is not going to be Frank Lucas. Right. Sometimes people are Robin Williams dealing with depression, but are comedians.
Come on now.
Some people are, my guy Will Smith in The Pursuit of Happiness, trying to figure out how he's going to take care of his children. Yeah. Right. So we have to think from that perspective of what is your message? What is your brand? Who are you speaking to? Who is your audience? And how can we create the soundtracks to their lives?
That's fire, dude.
Mickey Factz, thank you for joining us today and sharing your journey, wisdom, and the incredible work you're doing with Pendulum Inc. Your impact on hip hop, both as an artist and educator, it's inspiring and much needed in today's culture. We appreciate your time, your voice, and your mission. Wishing you continued success, and you're always welcome back on the show.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. If you're interested in joining Pendulum Inc. or you know someone that's interested in joining us, hit us up, pendulumink.com, pendulumink.com. Send me a DM on Instagram, mickey.factz. I respond to every email and every DM because I'm OCD.
No, he does. He does. That's how we got him.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Sometimes you gotta, you gotta use what you got. Hey, we appreciate it, brother. Thank you for your time, man.
No problem, guys.
All right, peace. We'll be right back, yo.